Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Apollo here, bringing you guys today's video. Now, today's video, we're going to do a little bit kind of a change from Call of Duty World War II, and we're going to do some question and answers, which I asked you guys on Twitter, some questions you may have for me, whether it was just about, you know, my life, or general YouTube, or, you know, just, school stuff, just anything personal kind of deal. We're gonna do one of those. We're gonna try to do at least once a week where I kind of get to know you guys a little bit better, as well as you know, you guys can somewhat relate to me a little bit better, hopefully, because of this and stuff. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like on this video, and don't forget to subscribe as well, because I'm going to be bringing daily content for as long as I can. And don't forget to turn on those notifications with the little bell icon, and be sure to click that. That way you guys will be notified when I upload. But without further ado, guys, we're getting right into the video here. And if you guys do notice in the background, there's Fortnite gameplay. That is from me and Amazing Kid playing duos on Fortnite. We actually ended up winning that game, which was pretty fun. So if you guys want to see a Fortnite video, be sure to drop a like as well, or comment down below. And yeah, guys, we're gonna get right into it here. Okay, so our first question comes from I want to say Zanarchy from Twitter here. He says, are you named after the Greek god Apollo? And I'm gonna have to say no, and I'll get to that a little bit later with another one of the questions. Okay, so the next question is from Logic. He said, how did you come up with Apollo? And it was in a time in my channel where I was kind of like changing gamer tags and stuff, and it was originally Blue Latios, which I kind of based off of FaZe Blaziken's name, because, you know, he went off of Pokemon, and I was like in the Blue clan, so that's what came up with Blue Latios, and Latios was a blue Pokemon, and I was into Pokemon at the time, so that explains why that was that. And then I was just thinking around one day, and I wanted to have a name that kind of like stuck, you know, and whether or not like I would change clans, or if I would just, you know, decide to not be in a clan, I wanted to have something that I could always go back to. And that is X Apollo XI, which stands for Apollo 11 in the Roman numerals. And for those of you who don't know, Apollo 11 was the first manned mission that successfully landed on the moon. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my content, is kind of be like, you know, the real guy out here, you know, making content every day, trying to bring that to you guys, kind of. I remember I tried to do Apollo X, just Apollo X, instead of XI. But somebody had Apollo X, so I just made it XI, and that's coincidentally was the Apollo mission to the moon, where they landed on the moon. So next question comes from Serzi, I want to say. Hopefully I didn't pronounce that name wrong. He says, what made you choose the shuttle as a base with a little rocket ship? And for those guys, those of you who don't know, on Twitter about a week ago, actually no, it was actually, yeah, about a week ago, I decided to call my fan base the Shuttle Squad, hashtag Shuttle Squad. And the reason for that is, you know, just because Apollo mission was the first on the moon, and, you know, the rocket with the rocket emoji, and I don't know, it just seemed right, because I always hear about YouTubers having, like, you know, people have names for their fan base, like, for example, PewDiePie, you know, has the bros, you know. So I wanted to have my own little thing, that way I could connect with you guys a little bit more, and not just be that guy that just pumps out content just to pump out content. You know, I wanted to have some relatable aspects to it. That's mainly the reason why I chose to have the Shuttle Squad, and it just came to me like just like the snap of a finger. So I think that was pretty cool. Thank you guys for submitting your questions. And we're gonna go to our last set of questions here, and this is from Obey Guardian in the DMs, because he had quite a bit of questions and didn't really want to mess up my Twitter feed. But first question is, what is the funniest joke I know by heart? I really don't know any funny jokes by heart, mainly because I'm not like a funny person, I guess. I don't really take time to think of jokes and hold on to them. Yeah, I really don't have anything though. And then next question is, what game have you spent the most hours playing? Now, a lot of people would think that it would be one of the Call of Duties or stuff, you know, like Call of Duty and everything else, but I actually have a lot of time invested in my PC, but I unfortunately don't play PC anymore. I have a lot of hours into Arma 2 and Arma 3, and then, but I would say my most played console game would have to be Black Ops 2, mainly because I always go back to it when I get bored of the regular Call of Duty. And then another question here from Obey Guardian says, if you could have an all expenses paid trip to see any famous world monument, which monument would I choose? Oh shoot, I would probably have to go to I mean, it's all expenses paid, so I mean, I could really go anywhere in the world. I'd probably want to go see like some of the World War II monuments over in Europe, just because like I think those are so neat and stuff, and I think it's good to not forget about terrible things in our history as human race, you know, to not forget that, and I think that's important. Getting to the last couple questions here. What's your back in my day Now personally for me, back in my day, which I grew up in, like, because I'm 18 years old right now, so I grew up in like the early 2000s and stuff, I would say back in my day we had to make sure that if we're playing a video game, to make sure that the memory card was in when you saved it, otherwise you wouldn't it wouldn't save your game. There was no auto saves or anything. So like if I ever played the GameCube or my PlayStation 2, you needed a memory card, and when that puppy filled up, man, it was annoying because you had to either buy a new one, which were like back then were expensive because, you know, you're a kid and you don't make that much money because you don't have a job or anything. So but yeah, other than that though, I mean, that's really back in my day. That's about all I did, was play video games and you know, go through school and stuff. And that leads into the last question here for us today, guys. It is from Obey Guardian as well. It says, how did you get into gaming? Well, I would say that I started gaming around when I got my PlayStation 2 for Christmas, and that would have been in like 2002, and I played like sports games and stuff, but I didn't really get into like first-person shooters until my friend had an Xbox 360, and I didn't have a 360 at the time. I used to have an Xbox, like the original Xbox, and I played Halo 2, and that was so much fun. I played Halo 2, Madden 2005, and then on the PlayStation 2, I played Jak and Daxter, which if you guys don't know what those games are, I highly recommend Jak and Daxter, dude. Those games are the best. The graphics are, you know, they're for their time, but I mean, the overall gameplay and like, you know, just how they play is just awesome. But then I got a 360 when the Kinect came out, and then that's when I really started playing. My first Call of Duty I owned personally was Modern Warfare 3, but my first Call of Duty game that I played was Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360. So now that you guys know a little bit more about me, hopefully you guys can have a little bit more relatable factor when you're watching my future videos and stuff. And if you guys want to see another question and answer video, be sure to drop a like, as well as comment down below any other questions you may have, or anything else that, you know, might just kind of happen to come up during the video or something. If you like, oh, I wonder about this, then just comment down below, and I'll probably do a episode 2 or part 2 in the future. So if you want to ask a question, be sure to follow me on Twitter or drop a comment down below, as well as a subscribe. That way you guys know when I upload my part 2, whenever that may be. I'm not sure yet. And I do want to say thank you for all of you who have submitted questions. There were a couple people that I had to leave out because of basically just kind of personal reasons, I guess. I don't really know. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to drop a like. And as always, guys, this is Obey Apollo signing off. Peace.